Good morning, welcome back. We're back on the XW rear quarter repair. So what we got up to last night, we've dollied the lower edge where we drilled all the spot rivets out, spot welds out, and trued that up. And we've given it a coat of weld through primer. Up in here, that's the part where they had made up with a Jack Daniels can and some fiberglass. So for what was left, we've drilled all the spot welds out, taken that whole inner structure out, which is part of the inner wheel tub, the outer. So what we've done is make our paper templates up and transferred it over to some metal. So we've tried to break it down into 3 basic shapes. Now if I flick this around, so we've broken it up into 3 basic shapes that hopefully, all going well, we can cut out and manipulate into the shape that we want to replace this stuff. So I'll get in and cut these out, and we'll see if they come anywhere near close. Alright, so I'm just gonna cut this off here. Now, I'm using snips because that way I can use my glasses and hopefully be able to see where I'm cutting. When I use the cutoff wheel, I can't use my glasses and I normally can't see a hell of a lot. Now, see if this is right. Too bad. Put on the back of the vise. Probably should have cut this smaller piece off while it was still part of the main, shouldn't I? Nope. Cool. Alright, that's close enough, and we can sand back to the edges to make it a bit sharper. What have we got here? Right, so we've got all the metal pieces trimmed up and sanded down to the lines that we need, and our templates to show us where we need to put our first few bends. So the piece of metal for that one we've got set up in the vise, and make sure I'm going to bend it the right direction. We're just going to now bend him over. It's about 90 that we need to go to. And we'll leave it a little bit proud and dummy fit it up in the body. Because then we've got to lay that top piece over, but that still has to come around a bit more. Better. So then now we can put that one in, and the jaws on this vice suck. Alright, I'll do it that way. Nothing but the best Chinese vice from Burson's that doesn't hold square. Alright, so try and sharpen that one up a bit. Alright, and that's the starting point for our first insert. Which hopefully, if we've guessed right, is going to go up in there. Right, just need to take a little bit more off that outside edge there to let it sit up and in, and we'll try it again. Right, so that's our first piece folded up close enough that it's going to fit and going to work. So now all this piece here that's missing, what I was intending on doing was taking this strip, which is going to be the piece that goes from there, from there up to there, and making it fit in here relaxed, because that's where it's got to go, and then that's what spot welds into there, and then we should be able to bridge it. Zoom out a bit. There we go. Should be able to bridge it from here to here, and then this last piece we'll just fold and put in and trim to whatever that shape is, and then in theory that should work. So I'll get this over on the bench and we'll see if we can shape it up. So this is the paper template we made for that one, and they're the 2 points where we had to pinch it or tuck it whatever you'd like to call it, to make it curve. So now this was supposed to sit there and follow around. And we've got a limit there, so that mark shows us how far above that cut it's got to go. And that should end there where that mark is. So we need to make this piece of metal as close as we can to that and just have it so it lays in there relaxed. No, it's not going to be the same as factory because this profile here isn't the same. It's quite a sharp profile out, but it'll make that fit this and hopefully fit that. Okay, so we've got it laid in there, and what we did was we started just massaging it by hand and maneuvering it and flexing it first to get it so it would lay in there roughly. Then I put that one up there where it was marked and clamped it and had it relaxed fit to about here where that sketchy crease line is in the replacement panel. Had this clamp up here and then just dressed it in slowly with a small ball peen to follow the curve around. Then once it was relaxed, we put the clamp down this end and then just kept tuning in through there. So now, if we pop these out, we should have a piece that lines in there, give or take, where we want. So we'll have to flex it apart a little bit to just make it sit in there a little bit better. So if we just give that a bit of a stretch. Too much. There's the mark. There. So give or take, that actually does lay in where we want it to without being forced. So now the idea is to take that piece, take a little sharpies off so we don't stab ourselves, over to the car. I should have moved that clamp first, shouldn't I? So then that's going to lay up in there and across to there, and then we'll make our infill piece. Okay, so we're going to try and tack this together so that we can then form the last piece, pull it all out and fully weld it, all going well. So that gives us the basic shape of the curve. Oh, that's up a little. There's my gloves. There. And this has got a lot of excess hanging down, so we can trim it to shape. But the deal is to try and get that to sit there, like that. And we're going to weld down the back edge, tack it in the bottom corner, and then this front section just has to be splayed out a little and tacked on, and then we should be able to pull it all off. Alrighty, so I'll give that a shot. Just try and tidy up this top section because I'm not happy with where that is. There we go. That one there. Did we leave enough room for this? No, the earth's in the way. Maybe that. Where we wanted it again. So that's what we want there. All right. Okay, so what we've got there is, oh, hang on, the first week piece we made and folded up, welded to the outer piece. We've also got the lower strap in behind there, welded in, that goes along the bottom. Really awkward to see with all the clamps in the way. So that's all there. Now what we've got to do is get that to come out here and meet there and tack that in and cut the excess off, and then we're ready to put it all together. Okay, so here's our piece. So what I'm going to do is go through and fully weld all the insides, so that way they can be left whole. You don't have to grind those back, and it'll put strength in it. Then once they're done, I just have to trim the outer edges where it overhangs and trim the excess off, and then fully weld the outer edges and sand and dress them. And we should have a piece that fits, seals, and looks kind of like what the factory one was, but good enough for what we're doing. All right, I'll get the welder set up and we'll get into it. Okay, so there we have it. That's our piece in weld through primer. Just got to let that flash off, and it's ready to sit up in there and spot weld in, and then to trim the quarter panel and get that to fit. But we've had that clamped in with a pair of vice grips, and the quarter panel repair lays over and it sits nice and snug. There's a couple of mil air gap here or there, but it lays nice and snug the whole way along. We'll be able to clamp that up, spot weld it all through underneath, and it'll be done. So no, it's not factory, but it's better than a Jack Daniels can with some fiberglass and bog that was in there before. Okay, so it's all been coated with weld through primer and it's ready to go in. So no, it's not absolutely perfect, but it's a whole lot better than a bit of Jack Daniels can and some fiberglass. So, and we've dummy fitted the outer skin on the outside of it and it all lines up. So hopefully we've got a half decent earth. We're going to get through and plug weld these in, a couple from underneath, and then we'll get round to putting the outer skin on. So I'll prop yours down here in the corner. And what have we got? There we go. Let's see what we can do. Now, I've never used this weld through primer before, so God only knows if it's going to be easy to get to start or what. of them underneath we've got to do, and that piece should be in. Get in there. All right. So I'll just set it up and get this inside bit tacked up a little bit more, and we're done. Okay, so we're ready to put this lower quarter on. That's all prepped, and what we've got hanging out the tail light hole here is a bit of welding wire that we've poked through and onto here, and we've tack welded it on there, because what we're going to try and do is a cut and butt along that seam. But once that's cut off, short of sticking my hand in through there and whatnot and trying to grab it, this way we can pull the piece of metal out after we've cut and butt the patch in, so we get a nice tight fit along there. And we've trimmed here and everywhere along the bottom, so that all fits, and we've dummy fitted it on. We've prepped the repair panel and taken off the majority of that black coat that it comes with, because it is a really, I don't know, just a cheesy rubbish thing that's on there to just seal them against weathering. And we've stripped it all on the inside and got a coat of weld through primer from U-Pol on there. And we've drilled all our spot weld holes along the bottom, ready to go. So that should be dry enough now to take off, and we're going to mount it up on there. Probably put a couple of plug welds in the bottom in a handful of spots just to get it seated, and then run through welding it up fully as soon as I can mount this. So I'll get that prepped and we'll go from there. cool for a little while. It's not ridiculously hot, you can still touch it, but I just want to let it cool fully. Now that that's all tacked on the bottom. And then what we'll do is probably put a couple of spots along the middle. And then what we'll do is cut to it, bush it, tack it, and just go along until we fill it all the way along. And then that should be it. But we'll let that cool for a minute. Okay, so what we've got there is over in the front section over here, that's all flushed and cut in, and up to about, where is it? That tack weld there, we've cut and butted up and stitched it across. So now what I'm going to do is, that seems to be working, so I'll follow that along to the other end and we'll just tack as we go. We'll give it a shot. Okay, so this is where we're going to end it for tonight, guys. That one there is done. Now we just went along and tacked on top of tack, one after the other, and let it cool down naturally in between. And we did blow some compressed air up in through the tail light. Like I said, there's all that bitumen that's in there from the factory. Just didn't want that stuff to start smouldering and then catch alight. So it is not that bad. So the inside's all done too. Really too dark and my torch is flat. So, but yeah, it's all sealed, all looks kind of factory. So now the next step is we've got that in metal green at the moment, so there's no chance of it flash rusting between now and when we touch it again. The next step is we'll get in, knock the top of the welds off, and probably give it a light coat of short strand fiberglass fill over the top, just to weatherproof the weld seam, and then smear a little bit of filler over the top of that and get it ready to put primer on. So again, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.